for any extended period of time. So why not make a date to visit Ripley's? Because you'll meet the furniture you'd love to live with and the prices our competition hates to live with. We'll be happy to make the introductions. After all, we're Ripley's, your friend in the furniture business.
Why some believe the government is out to get us, Sunday at 6.
After a new case of sexual harassment, all Navy personnel are told you will take special sensitivity training. The Secretary of Energy spending tax dollars to find out what the media is saying about her department. And Israeli police say there was a conspiracy to kill the Prime Minister.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a new case of sexual harassment in the military. It involves the Navy again. And senior Pentagon officials take it so seriously that today they ordered all naval personnel throughout the world to participate in special leadership and sensitivity sessions. As has happened before, other naval personnel apparently saw this latest incident as it was going on and did nothing to stop it. Here's ABC's John McWethy.
It's what the Navy calls a stand-down for good order and discipline. The Chief of Naval Operations ordered all 430,000 men and women in the Navy to stop their regular work for a day to once again go over policy on sexual harassment.
I think our rules are good. I think our procedures are good. I think we've published them. I just think it's time to do a little preventive medicine, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do it in a way that's unmistakable.
The incident that has again raised such concerns in the Navy happened aboard an American airline flight from Norfolk to Dallas 2 weeks ago. A 23-year-old female petty officer was seated next to 49-year-old George Powell, a chief petty officer who worked as a cook. According to Navy officials, for 2 hours, Powell, who had consumed at least half a dozen drinks, made physical sexual advances, including putting his hands on her thighs and breasts. Navy sources say the young female petty officer tried to stop him, at times shouting at him, hitting him, and once knocking him out of his seat into the aisle. Though there were about 24 other naval personnel seated nearby, they apparently did nothing until a Navy chaplain finally insisted that he change seats with the young woman. When the plane arrived, the Navy chaplain, an officer, ordered Powell to turn himself into naval security, which Powell did not do, disobeying an order. Today's stand-down by the Navy has its roots in the tailhook scandal 4 years ago, where female pilots were sexually assaulted in a hotel hallway during an annual meeting of naval aviators. It brought down the entire leadership of the Navy and dramatically reduced tolerance for this kind of behavior. Last month, there was further evidence of the Navy's sensitivity on this issue when a Navy captain who was in charge of the service's sexual harassment hotline was himself court-martialed on sexual harassment charges. Though he was acquitted, the case has probably cost him promotion to admiral. Today's action by the Navy is intended to send yet another message that sexual harassment will not be tolerated. Though the message by the Navy has been consistent, such behavior persists among a very few. John McWethy, ABC News, the Pentagon.
In Washington tonight, the Energy Secretary Hazel O'Leary may be in hot water. There is probably not a public official in all the land who is not at one time or another infuriated by what the media is reporting. It is how Secretary O'Leary has chosen to react that is the issue today. Here's ABC's John Martin.
The uproar over Secretary O'Leary started when the Wall Street Journal said she spent $43,000 tax dollars to track and rank reporters and news agencies covering the Department of Energy. The paper said reporters and DOE critics were rated by how unfavorable their comments were. A critic called this an enemies list. The story said some firms investigate reporters' backgrounds, but the firm DOE hired, Karma International, said it does not. It says it analyzed thousands of articles to learn what the public was told of DOE policies on nuclear waste, weapons production, research.
What we do is help people communicate more effectively and actually spend tax dollars a lot more wisely.
It's not a personal investigation.
Absolutely, positively not.
But reporters whose articles had been analyzed were unhappy and uneasy.
I don't think you needed to hire anyone to find out what we were writing about. The more I hear about it, the more alarmed I become. And the more I think about it, the more enraged I become.
The White House said it wants a full accounting of the episode. Reporters asked if it condones background investigation.
But as reported in the Journal, it's clearly unacceptable.
In Louisiana, Secretary O'Leary denied there was anything improper in the study.
The work that was contracted was to do an analysis of how our message was received.
But you understand...
No enemies list, no gumshoes, no investigators.
O'Leary said using public employees and computers would have cost taxpayers $170,000 instead of $43,000. But some members of Congress saw the effort as reason to fire her.
The Secretary of Energy should not remain in office one more day, not one more hour, not one more minute.
The White House was clearly caught off guard, but it is not clear tonight whether it is willing to dismiss a cabinet secretary for spending thousands of tax dollars just to track reporters and their reports. John Martin, ABC News, Washington.
When we come back, the conspiracy. Israeli officials now say the murder of Yitzhak Rabin was an organized plot. Another suicide and renewed scrutiny of Dr. Jack Kevorkian. And those television talk shows that so many people are upset about. Some stations are saying enough.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by the all-new Ford Taurus.
Ford introduces the all-new Taurus. For those who see life as a journey and want to enjoy the ride. Its speed-sensitive steering and responsive new suspension help you take new roads with confidence, while the powerful new 24-valve Duratec engine can go up to 100,000 miles between recommended tune-ups, which means you can go as far as your dreams. The all-new Ford Taurus.
This is Jack. He's learning about airplanes on a PC with an Intel Pentium processor inside. The Pentium processor has the power to make software look, sound, and feel more real, which lets Jack's imagination really take off. The Intel Pentium processor.
The Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat has made his very first public visit to the State of Israel. He went to the home of Prime Minister Rabin's widow in Tel Aviv to offer his condolences. According to Israeli radio, Mrs. Rabin told Mr. Arafat, "My husband regarded you as his partner in peace." As for the investigation into Mr. Rabin's assassination, Israeli officials now say there was a conspiracy. Here's ABC's Bill Rediker.
2 more men suspected of helping plan and carry out the assassination were brought to court today. Police are now convinced there was a conspiracy to kill Yitzhak Rabin. This man, they say, will be charged as an accomplice to murder. In all, 5 people have now been arrested.
We think that they established a form of organization to assassinate the Prime Minister and other persons, political persons.
Police today continued searching the home of confessed assassin Yigal Amir. In the attic, they found material used to make bombs. Among the weapons they say they uncovered here, a stockpile of grenades, fuses, timing devices, and explosives. Enough, says a police officer, to make any terror group proud. Amir's mother, Geula, says she and her husband were shocked when police discovered the explosives. In their first interview since their son admitted killing Rabin, Geula wept as she tried to apologize. I don't feel I have the right to talk to Mrs. Rabin. I can only tell her that I would not have expected my son to cause such harm, such a disaster. Investigators say Amir belonged to a group called Eyal, which frequently set up illegal settlements in the occupied territories to protest Rabin's peace process. Police also believe Amir may have been working with a small group of rabbis who issued religious edicts justifying the assassination. At a public debate in Jerusalem, one rabbi said that he would identify those extreme rabbis by name if they don't resign their posts by this weekend. And amid all the questions about the lack of security on the night of the assassination, Israelis have now heard from the man who rushed Rabin to the hospital. The driver recalled seeing the assassin moments before 3 shots were fired. Suddenly, I saw someone coming from the right, reaching with his arm, and he started to shoot. While shooting, he yelled, "It's nothing, they're blanks, it's not real." I wanted to believe it wasn't real. Minutes later, Rabin was dead. Bill Rediker, ABC News, Tel Aviv.
Now we're home again. In Michigan today, Dr. Jack Kevorkian's motives and methods are under scrutiny again. Dr. Kevorkian maintains that hopelessly ill patients have a right to end their suffering. The question is, was the latest patient to take her life, apparently under his guidance, terminally ill? Here's ABC's Ron Claiborne.
The body of Patricia Cashman was left in a car parked outside of the Oakland County Medical Examiner's office. Kevorkian's lawyer said later the Michigan doctor was present when the 58-year-old California woman took her life after suffering painfully from cancer for months.
This is as terminal as a patient gets. You can't have a more terminal disease.
But the local medical examiner said an autopsy on Cashman's body failed to reveal any signs of cancer.
I looked at her lungs, liver, kidneys, adrenal glands, and all the lymph nodes along with her spine in the back. There was no cancer visible at all anywhere.
In response, Kevorkian released medical records from 5 physicians at Scripps Hospital in California, records indicating Cashman had bone cancer. According to one document, a CAT scan revealed bone destruction consistent with metastatic disease, that is, cancer. The medical examiner says he will perform another microscopic examination next week to see if, in fact, Cashman was suffering from bone cancer. But prosecutors said it doesn't matter whether she was terminally ill or not, because all assisted suicides in Michigan are illegal.
If she, in fact, was not terminally ill at this time, as has been claimed already, it may be a dramatic aspect of the case, but it has no legal significance.
In fact, prosecutors say about half of the 26 suicides that Kevorkian has attended or assisted were people who were in pain, but were not in the final stages of terminal illness. Ron Claiborne, ABC News, Detroit.
When we come back, the government is almost out of money.
Hertz is giving away double frequent flyer miles? Exactly. Let me get this straight. You got this great car from Hertz and double frequent flyer miles. Exactly. You're not going to stop that, are you?
You mean our Hertz car for the weekend is only $25 a day?
Exactly.
With free unlimited mileage and Hertz service?
Exactly.
What else could we ask for?
Some marshmallows? Hertz, only $25 a day. Marshmallows not included.
Sarah knows a lot about diabetes because she has it.
Hey, sweetie.
But she doesn't know that Eli Lilly and Company developed the medicine she takes every day, or that Lilly keeps her doctor up to date with the findings of healthcare professionals all over the world who treat kids just like her. Why should she? She's busy just being a 7-year-old. If the last 119 years have taught us anything, it is simply this: knowledge is powerful medicine.
Great, this is what I...
So today, Lilly is collecting, analyzing, and sharing information with thousands of healthcare providers and patients, and leading the search for better, more affordable treatments, preventions, and cures, so Sarah and the rest of us can all live healthier, more active lives. Eli Lilly and Company. Knowledge is powerful medicine.
How would your dentist recommend you clean your teeth? The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover has been clinically proven to clean teeth better than a manual toothbrush. Its unique cup-shaped brush head removes plaque from deep between teeth and even below the gum line, leaving your teeth so clean you can feel it. And now kids can start brushing better too, with a model designed just for them. The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover cleans better than a manual toothbrush.
Thursday on an all-new Murder One. This case has more leaks than the Nixon White House. Someone's telling secrets. There's a leak in this office, and I want to know who it is. And selling out the firm. We're at war. If I've got a traitor working for me, I'd like to know. Who on Teddy's team would risk it all? Murder One, Thursday here on ABC.
You could hear the warning from Washington today. Get ready to hear an awful lot about the budget and the debt ceiling and default over the next week or so. That is because the federal government technically runs out of money to pay its bills next week. And how to find some more money is the subject of intense political maneuvering and even some posturing at the White House. ABC's Britt Hume.
Top White House aide says the president needs new spending authority by Monday night to keep the government open. But they said the temporary measure congressional Republicans are working on to give him that authority is so full of unacceptable provisions, the president would have to veto it and shut the government down.
Don't put a gun to the head of the president and the head of the country and say, you don't accept our priorities. You don't accept what we want to do to Medicare and Medicaid or what we want to do to education. We're going to blow you apart. That's a form of terrorism.
That theme was quickly picked up by Democrats in Congress, including one speaking to a nearly empty House chamber.
This bill is a patently petty political terrorist tactic.
Republican leaders, though, seemed undeterred and accused the president of refusing to talk to them. They said they were moving ahead regardless.
We're going to have our work finished, and it's up to the President of the United States. If he's not willing to cooperate on a path to a balanced budget, then the choice will be his. The government shuts down, his fingerprints are going to be all over.
In the midst of all this, there was one piece of good news. Government borrowing authority also runs out next week, but Treasury Secretary Rubin said he could juggle accounts to continue making interest payments on government securities, at least for a while.
That we can work our way through this for some period of time. And I think I'd rather not be more precise than that, other than to say for some period of time.
This sort of budget brinkmanship has happened before, and the government has even shut down for a day or so. Social Security payments and other such benefits are not affected. Besides, the Senate is also opposed to some of the same provisions in that temporary spending bill that the White House objects to, so there is at least a chance that the measure that finally reaches the president will be one he can sign after all. Britt Hume, ABC News, the White House.
The president is trying to appease some angry people in his own party concerning the Republican plan to cut $114 billion in welfare. There was a new government report today that predicted just what those cuts might mean in human terms. Here's ABC's Jackie Judd.
Today's report from the administration that over 1 million more children could be driven into poverty by the Senate's welfare reform bill proved embarrassing because only last month the president said he supported that bill.
The results show very clearly that we need to work for a better bill than either the House or the Senate bill.
That is exactly what furious members of the president's own party have been saying.
Clearly, the administration cannot sign any legislation that might emerge from this bartering the lives of babes.
But today, Mr. Clinton didn't go far in changing course. He only suggested some changes that should be made, including guaranteeing child care funds for welfare mothers who work, guaranteeing children benefits even if their parents disqualify for welfare by not finding work, and forcing states to maintain a certain level of benefits. There is no guarantee that the Republican Congress will accept any of this, and even Mr. Clinton's spokesman seemed to suggest the president doesn't have much leverage.
He may have to accept that bill, but as I say, we are optimistic in believing that that bill can be improved.
The president is in a jam. He faces the prospect of getting sent a bill he once supported and has now been discredited by his own administration. But a veto threat would make it appear the president is going back on his promise to end welfare as we know it. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Washington.
In Washington, there's a serious warning today concerning the meat and poultry that Americans consume. Consumer groups presented petitions to Congress detailing how meat processing plants across the country are covered with dirt, sawdust, and even glass chips. About 4,000 Americans die every year from eating tainted meat and poultry, and 5 million become so sick they require medical attention. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials gained 11.5 points to close at 48.64. The trading was heavy. On the NASDAQ market, stocks gained more than 17 points. There is an international battle underway tonight to save the life of a very prominent environmentalist. Ken Saro-Wiwa, who has devoted so much time to having oil companies stop polluting Nigeria, has been sentenced to death along with 8 other Nigerian political activists for murder. The international community believes the charges have been trumped up by the government, and today the White House and the European Union are demanding that Nigeria's military rulers commute the death sentence. Back in just a moment.
With all the new heartburn medications, how do you choose? Well, when doctors and pharmacists were asked which they would recommend more often, 7 out of 10 chose Pepcid AC Acid Controller over Tagamet HB. One small Pepcid AC does what 2 Tagamet HB can't claim. Doctors know that one Pepcid AC controls acid longer, has been proven to prevent heartburn, and has no drug interaction warnings. Ask your doctor or pharmacist. You can be heartburn-free with new Pepcid AC, the strongest, longest acid controller.
Why pour, measure, lug, splash, and push to clean your hardwood floors when there's new Mop & Glow Hardwood Floor Cleaner? Just squirt and mop. No dulling residue, no rinsing. It couldn't be easier. New Mop & Glow Hardwood Floor Cleaner. One step away from clean.
I love these family get-togethers.
I love Grandma's creamy Eagle brand pumpkin pie.
Me too.
This year she made it with new Eagle brand fat-free.
Fat-free? No way. It tastes too good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe next year we can eat it at the grown-ups table.
For years, in your passion for performance sedans, you look to Europe and you pay a painful price. Now there's a new 240 horsepower Pontiac Bonneville. So precise, so responsive, it hardwires your impulses directly to the road. All at a price thousands less than you were prepared to pay. The new Pontiac Bonneville. It makes your passion painless, but no less intense.
Some people see the world of financial services as it is. Others see it as it can be. Bolder, more creative, easier and faster to travel, able to offer new products and services by combining the best thinking of the best minds in investing, insuring, and lending. The new Travelers Group. Share the vision. Travelers Group.
Well, they may be isolated cases, or maybe they're the start of a trend, but there has been some television backlash against those daytime television talk shows, which have been so criticized for being sleazy, exploitive, demeaning, and divisive. Here's ABC's Ken Kashiwahara.
It was this show, featuring transvestites and bisexuals playing a dating game, that prompted a television station in Chico, California to yank Jenny Jones off the air.
For me, for this station, in this community, it's my job to say enough is enough.
The station manager says he has received more than 1,000 letters and emails supporting his decision.
Thanks for having the guts to stand up against TV trash.
Only 4 viewers opposed what he did. Corbin has also threatened to cancel another show, Gordon Elliott, unless it changes its content. Now in Colorado Springs, KOAA-TV is threatening to cancel Jenny Jones, Carney Wilson, and Maury Povich if they don't eliminate what General Manager John Gilbert calls worthless junk.
I got to look myself in the mirror and say, Gilbert, wait a minute. I mean, do you really, are you proud to have that stuff on your station? No, I'm not. I'm terribly embarrassed.
But both stations are in relatively small markets and represent only a fraction of the show's national audience. Jenny Jones, for example, is carried by 165 stations. And whether cancellations will become a trend may depend on whether larger stations are willing to trade higher ratings and big revenues for the moral high ground.
This will only be a trend when I think a preponderance of station managers across the country will see that it's in their best interest.
In response to the station's cancellations, the producer of Jenny Jones said, "The concerns of our viewers, our advertisers, and our stations are of primary importance to us. We have made and will continue to make changes whenever we feel there is a valid need to do so. Unless they do change, KOAA in Colorado Springs promises to pull the plug on December 31st, and they're hoping other stations will do so too." Ken Kashiwahara, ABC News.
In Greece today, this is how a hijacking ended. The hijacker in the suit was holding a knife to the throat of a stewardess. As he was speaking to reporters, plainclothes policemen suddenly jumped him. The hijacker was demanding he not be deported to Ethiopia, and he may face 20 years in a Greek prison. A British adventurer set out today to accomplish what no individual has done before. Roger Meir wants to become the first person to cross Antarctica on foot, entirely alone. He's pulling a quarter-ton sled with a lot of high-fat food, including 220 chocolate bars and 110 bags of nuts. He will, on occasion, use a kite as an engine, in a sense, to pull him along. He will have competition. A Norwegian also set out today, trying to beat him to the finish line. Another first in baseball today, Hideo Nomo of the Los Angeles Dodgers has been named the National League Rookie of the Year, the first Japanese player to win one of American baseball's top honors. Back in a moment.
How much closer are our precision heads? Our innovative lift-in cut system? How much better is the latest Norelco? In a word, we've never brought you closer. The Norelco Razor, our closest shave ever.
Naked windows? Come to the JCPenney window covering sale, where you'll find drapes, blinds, and other attractive window dressings at very decent prices. The window covering sale.
Who wants to think about light bladder protection all the time? I don't. Because now, Stay Free Serenity has new extra curved pads with Dry Layer Plus to keep them much drier than ordinary maxis, so I feel drier. Try new extra curved pads, only from Stay Free Serenity.
I'm fainting. Walter the dentist is coming over and I got gas. So I take my Lancer Gas Release gel caps. My Lancer Gas has the best and only medicine for gas relief and an advanced gel cap. Now, I'm my scintillating self again.
Presenting a cat box filler that controls odors all hours of the day and night. Tidy Cat. Its patented continuous action formula gives you round-the-clock odor protection. Make it Tidy Cat or Tidy Scoop and make it tidy all the time.
Presenting Rocky. Pound for pound, he uses more energy than most dogs twice his size. That's why we make Mighty Dog. It has the perfect balance of nutrients he needs. It makes your dog a Mighty Dog.
I'm Steve Dunn. Coming up on Channel 2 News at 6:30, find out how far Pat and Vanna went to bring America's favorite game to Seattle. And they want to be Oregon's new senator. Find out which Republican leads our exclusive poll at 6:30.
Finally from us this evening, a history note. Vietnam remembered. It was the first time they had met. The Vietnamese General Vo Nguyen Giap, the strategist and commander of Vietnam's victory over the United States in 1975. And Robert McNamara, the U.S. Secretary of Defense who argued for and prosecuted the war long after he decided that it could not be won. McNamara is in Hanoi to organize a conference on the lessons learned from this traumatic bloodletting between nations.
To this day, I don't know what happened on August 2nd and August 4th, 1964 in the Tonkin Gulf.
He surely knows this much. On August the 2nd, 1964, the U.S. Navy said that one of its destroyers, the USS Maddox, was attacked by North Vietnamese patrol boats off the North Vietnamese coast. The Maddox sustained no damage, the Navy said. 2 days later, the Navy said that a second attack on U.S. ships had occurred farther to the south.
My fellow Americans, renewed hostile actions against United States ships
on national television that night, August the 4th, President Johnson said this was open aggression on the high seas and ordered the U.S. military to attack various North Vietnamese military installations. Johnson then asked the Congress to approve a resolution permitting all necessary action in order to defend American forces throughout Vietnam. The Tonkin Gulf Resolution, as it was called, passed overwhelmingly. It was the blank check to prosecute the war which the Johnson administration had been looking for in order to enlarge the war. So what really happened in the Tonkin Gulf on August the 4th? Mr. McNamara wanted to know. General Giap said today, absolutely nothing, which is exactly what the Senate Foreign Relations Committee concluded when on December the 31st, 1970, the Senate repealed the Tonkin Gulf Resolution. But the war continued for 5 more years and many thousands of lives on both sides. That's our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, the impact of pressure from the tobacco industry on the media. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other.